Hello everybody, I'd like to welcome you into the second podcast with a very good friend, their second guest on the podcast. We're only starting this, we're new to this, so bear with us as we're trying to, get our technology a little bit better, a little more upgraded, and to share this amongst people out there that need to hear these stories. So we're excited. We have a good friend at Victory Outreach, and I'd like to welcome him to you. His name is Paul, very good friend.
Hi guys.
Hey Paul,
Hi,
welcome today, Paul. It's a pleasure to have you here, Paul, and we appreciate you coming in, sharing with everybody out there the stories that we have got to share to the world. So if you'd like to start, Paul, and tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from. Go back, Paul. Go back as far as you can for them and give them an insight into your life.
Yeah, cool. I'm going back a long time actually. I used to be a pub landlord of all things, Terry. I used to have my own pub in St Helens. It's a Tesco now. But through that time I was always a heavy drinker. That was always my problem. I drank.
How far back?
That's 25. I was saved 25 years ago, would you believe?
Were you?
Yeah, I got saved. I was dying. I was a dying man 25 years ago, and a dear friend of mine came to my house, prayed for me. A doctor of all people, Terry, prayed for me, and I was set free at that time. So I stopped my drinking then, changed career, and became a teacher. So I was teaching over in Liverpool for many years. But you know what, I was good, I was dry, I was doing well, praising God, and then took my eye off the game. The drink came back in, and very quickly it became, I just lost everything, Terry.
Did you?
Lost everything.
We're going a bit deeper if you don't mind,
Yeah,
Paul.
Cool.
The people that are, that will be tuning in, watching it, it'll help people, but how bad would you be in?
Well, when I left
on the drink, it's
in the end,
the finished product now. If you come through,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
well, in the end, I had to leave the family home. I left my wife and my daughters because the drinking just got crazy. I was lying to them, so I was living a lie. The whole of my existence was a lie, Terry. I was secretly drinking. It's just horrendous. My health was suffering. I came out of work, so I had a lot of time on my hands, so I just drank more, trying to cover it up more. The whole thing, it was a spiral of despair, to be honest with you. Spiral of despair. It never gets better. It just kept getting worse. Yeah. So I was in a flat, and then I ended up in a really bad way physically. I ended up in Western Hospital. Yeah. And they basically said, you ain't got much left. Yeah.
And is that, what age were you?
That would have been 34, 35. I ended up in Whiston with they
were you single?
No, I was still married to Linda at this stage. Okay. Still married, but separated. Yeah. I couldn't put anyone else through that. It was amazing. But she always stood by me, Terry. She never gave up on me. So when they rushed me off to Whiston, he was likely to have heart failure because of the drink. Yeah. So I was looking. They were anticipating me not making it. Of course, yeah. At that time, Linda didn't give up, but like I said, we couldn't be together because of the drink.
Would you like to share a little bit about Linda and what we all know Linda, and she's very much loved. Yeah,
she's an amazing woman, Terry. I met her been married 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years of marriage. I met Linda shortly after I was saved, way back then. We got married pretty quickly. We've been together 20 years. 2 daughters. Yeah. I was blessed mightily, Terry. Yeah. Blessed mightily by Linda, and even when things went bad, she's a testimony to what a faithful woman, because she stuck with me. Couldn't live with me, but she never gave up on me. I can't live with us.
Put people through the mill, don't we?
Put her through all sorts, and the girls, which I do regret it. It's not a good thing, but I'm grateful to where I am now. And much of that, I've got to say, yeah, God's been great to me. He's blessed me mightily, but he blessed me with a mighty woman. I've got to say that.
Linda is lovely. She is a great woman.
Amazing woman.
She's a rock for you, and now you're able to be a rock for Linda.
Yeah, at the moment,
now,
I mean,
you know,
Linda works hard for the family, so that I can enter into ministry with the church of VO. But she's grateful to VO. She's grateful to get her husband back.
She has her husband back.
Yeah.
So how did you get to know Victory Outreach, Paul, and give us a little bit of insight into how you got to know about it and when you took that first step.
I'm laughing because, forgive me, it's deadly. I was in such a mess, you wouldn't believe it. I was at the end.
I seen you.
I was at the end of it. It was an event called Big Push. A lady called Sue Sinclair. We all know Sue.
Yeah.
And you know, I was conned into going, Teddy. I'll be honest. I was in my little flat, right, and I am just drinking to. And Linda persisted. You go into Big Push. You go into a prayer meeting. And I'm going, oh Lord, you're not going to laugh. So I managed. I thought I better go because it'll get them off my back. These Christians ain't going to give up. So I might as well just go. So I got myself well and truly. I mean, it sounds shameful.
Obliterated.
But this is where I was. This is the state. Got myself to Big Push, and Victory Outreach were there actually. They'd gone along.
I think I was at it.
I didn't have a clue.
You wouldn't remember. I think I was at it.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue why I was going. I didn't have a clue what I was doing there. I just know that a lady called Ali, who's an amazing woman. I'd met her many years before she was involved. We'd given up, Terry. Linda had been told, at that stage, Linda was told, get ready to bury your husband.
Well,
there's no hope for this man. He's gone too far. That's all you can hope for now.
Yeah.
That was, and she was desperate. Nobody touched me. Nobody got me. The hospital wouldn't have me. Because Whiston said if we detox him, likelihood is he'll die. If we don't detox him, he's going to die. So either way, it didn't look good. So we didn't go to meet VO, but how many know God's got a plan?
Exactly.
You know, because I turn up and I'm thinking I'm okay, but I'm all over the shop.
I remember that day. It was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday, yeah.
And then you got dragged to church on the Sunday, if I remember. The following Sunday, that's right.
I was just going to escape from Big Push because the sheikhs were coming on. And these two crazy Christians stopped me.
So before you came to the Big Push, were you walking or just
drinking?
I was out just flat out
just drinking.
Flat out every day? Every
morning, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Every time I was awake. The only time I didn't drink, I was unconscious.
Right. So
it got to that, it was at that level.
It was key, you were just constantly drinking.
And it was that level that I was dying. And I knew I was. Teddy, there was things happening to my body that I knew this wasn't good. But I went.
Terrified.
And then these two beautiful people, now I call them, but at the time they were getting in my way. Like they stopped me and they said, "We want to pray with you." And I'm like, "Oh, I ain't got time for this," because the old sheikhs are coming. They prayed with me that day, Terry, and then I was introduced to VO. A few of the guys from VO were there, and I just, who are these people? But that gave a seed to Linda. She thought, "There's a hope."
Linda seen it, was it?
She was
Linda,
with me, yeah.
Because she was kind of saying that he's going to die. You didn't see this, you were just...
I knew I was going to die.
Yeah, but Linda was the one that come on, yeah.
And she, all of a sudden, from no hope, this is where VO's great at giving hope, because from no hope, there was a glimmer. There's someone who might be able to help. So I went home and just carried on. Done my bit.
Yeah.
And then it was brother Alan Wright, what a fella. He basically got a message to me telling me to phone up.
Yeah.
I was going to prayer on Tuesday, I couldn't make it. Something came up, couldn't walk. I was messed. But I phoned for God's God, he had his hands on it, Terry.
Yeah.
The following Sunday, I promised I'd go to church.
What made you make that call, Paul? What was, like, when you were in you were obviously terrified, and you knew you had to make the step.
I think deep down I knew I was coming to the end of it, and part of me, there's something in me that must have thought, I've got to reach out somewhere, because I couldn't make sense of it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I promised something, so I thought I'm going to do it. So I did phone him.
That's how you done it for Linda.
You know, I think Linda was the main driving force. and Jess and Chloe, because I remember I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing to them.
Yeah,
a lot of us do.
It's very hard to stop it.
You can't explain that.
Yeah, you're just constantly drinking, isn't it?
It'll not be as. So on the Sunday, same old story. I told Linda I'd go to church just to keep her quiet. That was on the Saturday evening. Sunday morning, changed my mind. I ain't going nowhere. I've locked them out the flat. I'm okay, mate. I know what I'm doing. So I got myself topped up again. And how God manipulated it, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I had a good friend, Max, came.
I remember him.
Max, the guy.
Nice fella.
He came, he said, I'm taking you to church. I get lost, I'm not going. Linda's on the phone, you're going. No, I'm not going.
You're getting pressure from a few angles, isn't it?
But the biggest one, Teddy, was when Jessica phoned me. Jess phoned me and said, you better get to church. And she said a few other things. But I went. I came to VO on the Sunday.
I remember you, Paul, sitting there in bits.
Exactly.
You were in a Bojangles, my friend.
I was, and I remember it was me and Linda sat right in the middle of the men's home.
Oh yeah, you were put there on purpose.
Yeah, I just plonked in it.
I think Alan, our friend, he put him there right in the middle of it on purpose. So,
but you know what?
Good.
It was the best place to be because I didn't want to be there. Everything about me didn't want to be
thrown
there.
into the thick of it.
And I had my excuses not for doing this thing. And I ain't doing this.
Just
and then Alan, the Irish, and he just came across and just said, "You need the home."
And did you obviously the pastor preached that day?
Pastor did, and he preached right into me that day. And he was. Linda said she's grateful to Pastor Roy. On that day, Pastor Roy, Alan, because they saw the desperate place I was in, and they reached out to me. And you
that's
know
what Victory Outreach is about.
That's
what it's all about, isn't it?
They reached right into where I was, and it wasn't a good place. They weren't frightened of me rattling. They weren't frightened of the state I was in. They just reached right in there. Still didn't want to go. Still didn't want to do it. I'll think about it. All this rubbish. I remember Linda, bless her, she said on the way out. I slipped up, Teddy, because Alan said to me, I've got a bed for you.
Right.
And I don't know.
And that's an invite straight away again.
I've got a bed, you've got to be in it. And I'm like, I'll think about it. Yeah. Linda came up to me and said, what's the story? I said, you've got a bed. Why did I say that, Teddy? So she's like, get in there. Like,
yeah, in it.
And she said to me, you know what, you've got to do this. You've got to do it for Jess. You've got to do it for yourself.
Yeah, the seriousness, we keep, this is what happens, you keep putting it off. We'll do it next week, week. The time came.
It came and I knew I didn't have another week.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Terry. I didn't have another week. Couldn't
you were in a bad way, Paul.
It was bad. And I knew it was. That's the amazing how God could touch me in that state. But I remember this. I remember it because I probably shouldn't remember it, but I think God's just saying, you know what, look what I've done. Ain't no glory in what I did, but it just shows what God can do.
Of course.
Because he reached right into that. And so on the Monday,
after the service on
the Sunday, I went home.
When you went home after the service, what was?
Oh, it was madness.
What was the head like?
I left church and I phoned 3 people. And to this day I don't know why. I can stitch myself up, Teddy. I phoned my daughter, I phoned Jess and said, listen Jess, I'm going to take a bed in this place. I'm coming.
Oh, that was it then? So you couldn't go back on that?
Then I phoned a beautiful couple, Phil and Barbara. They won't mind me mentioning them. They're amazing people. Yeah. Love them. Yeah. So I phoned Phil. I said, "Hi Phil, I've got a residential place." He was watching me. He's been supporting me all the way. Phil and Barbara, lovely. I said, "I've got a bed. So I'm going to take a chance." And he's like, "Oh, praise God." And I phoned Max. I said, I'm committed. So all my doors of escape were slammed shut. And I went home. I was in a bad way. I'll be honest. I carried on drinking. Of course I did.
Oh, sure.
But you know what? When I got home, we had to go on the bus back home. And by the time I got back, Phil and Barbara and Max were on the doorstep.
Waiting for you.
In my flat, waiting for me. And he came in. I was still lying then, I'll be honest. I was still saying, I'll just go in the kitchen and put the kettle on so I could have a drink.
You'd had drinking.
But they knew where I was. They knew what I was doing. That's how crazy. You know.
People,
I was still conning people. I was still trying to,
manipulate everything.
So I woke up Monday morning, finished off what I had left, which wasn't pleasant. and Max brought me to. I arrived at Newsham.
I remember the day you arrived.
What was that about?
I remember the day you arrived. You were stinking.
Oh yeah.
You were like that.
Yeah.
You were.
Couldn't walk.
A strange colour. I
was Homer, like a puppet Homer Simpson, because
yeah, we do be in a mess when we get here.
Oh,
we do be in a mess. But what happened when you came in, Paul? How did the start of your journey?
You know what? I was fine.
Terrified.
At first, I was fine. Well, I wasn't. I was a mess, but I felt inside. I thought I'm okay. But I remember the drink wearing off as the day went on.
Yeah.
And the realisation: I ain't got a bank card. I ain't got my phone.
No way out.
I've no way. I can't get no drink. And I know. And then all of a sudden this starts, and I'm thinking this ain't going to be good.
I remember your shakes.
Oh, they were legendary.
We were kind of, it wasn't funny, but looking back on it, we do laugh about it, but it wasn't funny.
It was brutal.
But you really went through a bad rattle.
It was bad, but you know what, Terry? I got in bed that night.
You were hallucinating and everything.
Oh yeah.
Proper hallucinating.
I honestly, I thought Newsham Drive, I thought the house was haunted, because I kept hearing doors creaking and footsteps. And it was only afterwards I realised it was the lads coming up to make sure I was okay.
Yeah. Because
they were worried in case I had seizures or fitting.
Yeah.
So they were praying for me, but they would go up and check him.
And isn't that the love that you...
Amazing. You know, and also that I remember a guy who was the loveliest man, and I wouldn't drink a cup of tea, Terry, because I couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
And I was
shaking bad. Yeah.
And this guy just put my hand to one side and he just said, "Here, I'll drink you. Help me drink me tea."
Did he?
Yeah. And I'll never forget that actual love, that kindness he showed me. Because
just something
I couldn't
simple.
hold a cup.
Yeah, something simple.
And he just took his time, and in the night, if I was, he'd just come and sit.
Just sit with you.
No big, just what are you doing this for?
Yeah, just sit there.
And you know what, that gets you so far.
Yeah.
But you know what, I've got to share this, Terry.
Yeah.
Linda, when I came in, contacted Alan and said, "Listen, but you know he's going to die, don't you?" But at least, she said, at least when he dies, he'll go to heaven. That was the prayer that she had for me. It wasn't that he's going to be a pastor, or he's going to be a teacher, or he's going to be this, he's going to be... When he dies, take him home.
And that's like bottom.
That was her reality.
Terrified of losing her husband, terrified of losing her family.
She spent weeks coming to see me phoning every morning if I'd woken up, coming to see me every night after work to see if I was still alive.
Constantly crying.
Every day, bless her, every day.
So once you got over your rattle, Paul.
Yeah.
How did your journey start?
Well,
what did you take from it, and you know, what did you think of it?
I kept hold of a plan I had, right? I had my 3 months plan. I had this great plan where I was going to do good things, and I was going to get well, and I was going to go back home, and I was going to go to church and like help old ladies cross the road and stuff like that, and be a nice fella, and that will do. And I said, God, that's your deal. That's what I'm going to do for you, God. I always laugh at the boys, Teddy, because that was the deal I put on the table.
Yeah.
And Father God said, yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, sound. Carry on.
Thank you for thinking of me. But he said, you know what, I've got a plan for you. I've got a plan
that's
for you.
Happens, isn't it?
Oh, but you listen to this plan. And I thought, I'll be honest, I'm working it out, and God said, just surrender it. Give your plan up, take mine, and let's go. Was
it the journey of you know, the home, was it tough?
It was tough. It was hard work. It is hard because you've got to face up to things and
that you've been pushing down.
Yeah, and also you kind of hold on to the bad stuff, and it can. God's saying, let go of it. But you've got to bring it up to face it, but then you've got to get rid of it.
And then you go through it.
Because if you don't go through it, you linger, you keep it in you keep it holding. And that's, I think, to be honest, I've seen too many times where people, almost ashamed of what you've done, drags you out.
Yeah, and what is the most traumatic experience you had before you got saved?
Before I got saved,
it would have been
being rushed off to Western Hospital, I think. I remember I was going for a rehab and
an OD, was it?
It wasn't. No, you know what? I'd gone to a company like a rehab place.
Yeah.
and because Linda was giving me earache about you need to. So I went to get a detox, just a clinical detox. Yeah, 3 days, rattle finished, sorted. And while I was there, my doctor, bless her, Jean, bless her, she phoned me up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all right, Jean. I was laughing, Terry. I was, whoa, I'm all right. She said, no, you're not, Paul. Get to Whiston now. I said, no, I'll go tomorrow.
Yeah.
She said, you got to go now, Paul, because you've no potassium in your body. So imminent heart failure. And I'm like, yeah, tomorrow will do. Tomorrow's like, I said, no, now. So they rushed me off. In fact, the woman who interviewed me, bless her, she chucked me in the car, rushed me to Whiston, straight in the ward, put me full of stuff, and I was just cardiac watch for 4 days, I think.
Yeah, we do be at death's door, and yet we look in the mirror and we think, great, you're doing great. Well, like, different colour, yellow, green, like that.
But yeah, and I think that coming to home, Teddy, I think that's what happens, isn't it? After a few months, you're feeling good, looking good, you know, everything's... And you forget.
Yeah.
But God bless.
What did you say earlier? Pain's
a short memory. You think it wasn't so bad. It was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, isn't it?
But the rattle itself set me up for the journey because it was... I'll never...
You won't forget it.
I'll not... See, previously I've detoxed on Librium and sleeping, so you don't go through your stuff, you just get through your stuff, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was brutal.
Yeah. You were...
And I was praying.
So I was seeing a witness that you were rattling and hallucinating, and...
I thought I was dying, and I thought if I'm going to die, this is the place. It was but you know what, Terry, I came through that rattle 4 days-ish, 5, I can't remember, but there was one message I got, and God spoke very clearly, Terry, I'll tell you, and he said to me, lesson 1, you pray through the storm.
Brilliant. Very good.
And it stuck with me.
Because you were a Christian before you came, so God had his hand on you already.
Like I said, I've been saved 20 years previous.
Yeah, so he never let go. Another one, Paul. What has VO done for you since your journey?
Well, you know what, I describe myself when I come in, Terry, as worthless, useless and pointless. A lot of other things as well, but useless, worthless, pointless, hopeless.
So what?
It's given me hope. It's given me a purpose. It's given me a life.
Yeah.
I always say to the boys,
tell the viewers, Paul, what you were at the death's door. You was at death's door before he came to Victory Outreach.
Absolutely.
Your family wrote off. You weren't driving. You weren't doing anything.
I'd lost my driving licence, to my shame.
On your own,
but on my own,
away drinking.
I was just bit. I'd lost my car. I'd lost my family. I'd lost my job. I'd lost everything. Everything that gave me a purpose and an identity had been stripped away. So
tell us this, Paul.
I was left
you
with
came in, you done Victory Outreach, you went on, you completed, you graduated.
Yeah.
We lived together.
Yeah, of course we lived. I was in Penn.
We used to rob us biscuits all the time.
You used to fill me room full of your furniture as well. But I'm not telling tales on telly today. I'm not telling tales.
Oh, you can tell away.
Can I put a couple of things in your room, Teddy said? I couldn't open the door.
I forgive you. No, but we done the journey, Paul. You got through it. You graduated.
Amen.
And let them know what have you got going on for you.
Well, I'll tell you what today, I've got.
Paul,
just on one level, I'll tell you, I've got my car, my little car.
It's just simple little things that people take for granted, but they're big things to us when you come from being at death's door, having
I've got
no hope.
My wife's back in my life. We're a man and wife again. We've got a new home. We sold our house in St Helens. We've now moved to Old Swan. That was
beautiful
amazing, beautiful little house. Exactly what we prayed for and God provided for us.
Yeah.
Exactly where we wanted it. Exactly everything about it.
The girls, Jessie and stuff.
Jesse's at uni.
Your relationship back with your kids.
Well, with Jessie, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, she's at uni. So that's we're working on
a good track.
We're working on developing relationships.
And what about you, Paul? You personally, what's happening?
With me,
what are you doing?
I'm just absolutely blessed every way I swing a stick, Terry, because I'm working now in the church.
Yeah. You're a teacher, basically.
I'm back in teaching again. I gave up all that because I thought there was no good to be had, but I'm back.
Brilliant
I
teacher.
teach in the home. Well, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
So I teach in the homes now. I go in and mentor the men in the homes and support the men in the homes.
Yeah.
I do the VETI, which is our training place. So educationally, I've kind of picked that up again.
VETI, for anyone that doesn't know, is you're studying to be pastoral.
Yeah, it's basically
you're studying the all the background of Christianity.
It's an in-depth study. It's our institute, a training institute.
Yeah.
So it's international. I'm involved in all that now. So I could never have dreamed of this stuff.
Yeah.
I work in the church doing the admin and stuff like that.
And finally, Paul, just one last question I'll throw at you. What does the future hold for you? What do you want? What are you going to do?
You know what, Terry? I love what I love about this is I don't know. But I don't care, because it's going to be fantastic. I look at how gracious God's been up to now, and I know whatever comes next, whether I get a licensed pastor's role, I'll be teaching. I don't know what God's got in store for me.
But you're enjoying.
But I'm loving it, and it doesn't matter what it is. If it's from Him, then it's going to be good.
Brilliant.
So I'm just excited. I'm not hopeless. I've got hope. I've got a point. I've got purpose.
Amen.
Didn't have any of that when I came here. Praise God.
Paul, I'll leave it there, Paul. I'll thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you in, Paul, because I know you as a friend. I know you. We came through the home together. We've been through all different test trials, been all over Liverpool, St Helens. We went to.
That was a good one, wasn't it?
That was a good, and we're blessed, and you know. It's an amazing journey, and this is why we're doing what we're doing, to share with the people what happens when you come into Victory Outreach and you go the full way and you come out the other side. Do you know what I mean? This is the product of coming out the other side. Car, life back on track, family, ministry, where, as you said, whatever you know, there's many doors will open for you, Paul. You're available.
Amen.
And you're healthy, you know, and it's great. It's great, and I just want to let the people know, Paul. Thanks very much for that.
No, thank you.
To share the testimony. You'll never know who this testimony will reach in his area around the world. It might just encourage somebody. So, for the second podcast, Paul, thanks very much again.
Thank you, sir.
And if you could like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. We've many more podcasts coming up, many more testimonies of all different types of backgrounds, drugs, alcohol, but they're all ending with good stories. Stories that have overcome bad, coming from the gut or coming from crazy backgrounds. So I'd just like to say thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.